All right, you guys. What's today? Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, you guys. I hope you guys are doing well. Let me just get myself set up here. All right. So today I am talking about how to healthify, how to lighten up, I guess is a good way to say it. Comfort food. If you're the type of person who grew up maybe eating fast food, if you're from the South, because to me, when I think comfort food, my brain automatically goes to the South and like fried chicken, waffles, collard greens, stuffed pork chops, like all these beautiful, delicious foods. But comfort food doesn't have to be that way, right? For a lot of people, fast food is comfort food. Um, so hopefully this is helpful to you guys. Let me know. And yeah, if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments as always. So when it comes to comfort food, so I think, when I think of comfort food, I think when most people think about comfort food, it's notorious, right, for being loaded with oils, fat, sugar, salt, right? That's what makes it so good, right? Fat equals flavor. If you talk to any chef, they will tell you that. Um, but there are so many ways that you can impart flavor without having to saturate your meals with fat, salt, sugar, anything like that. And it's why I'm so passionate about what I do, especially cooking and stuff like that. I'm really here to help spread the message that, eating veggies, incorporating more whole foods into your diets is absolutely just as delicious, right, as any other diet out there, and you don't have to sacrifice anything for that. So, when it comes to making comfort food healthier again, right? To me, it's all about swapping out and substituting ingredients for each other. So, it's great to have recipes, right? Especially if you're new to this whole new healthy lifestyle, you're new to a healthy diet, or if you're someone who really struggles in the kitchen, right? Cooking just isn't your thing. Recipes are great, right? They're a great tool. I definitely encourage you, but sometimes I think we rely on recipes too much and we don't trust ourselves. So, I also think it's important to learn how to adapt recipes, and realize you can always modify them to fit your specific needs. So, it's just like anything in life, right? The more you practice, right, the more comfortable you get, and pretty soon, right, you'll be whipping out dishes like no problem, and you can do things on the fly. It's really that simple. It's just a matter of practicing. So how can we modify things? So, in terms of how comfort food is cooked, right? A lot of times it's fried, it's deep fried, right? It's layered with a whole bunch of stuff. So how can we modify that? So, instead of frying, right? Maybe can we bake it? Can we air fry it? Or if you are eating something fried, right, just being aware of the quantity of food that you're eating that has been fried, I think is really important. So, in terms of oil, right, so right, processed food, fast food, comfort food, right, it's all saturated in oil. So, right, can we use less oil in terms of quantity? So if you're used to using like an inch of oil, right, to cook your food, right, maybe we go from like to like 1 to 2 tablespoons, right. I like to use oil. I go back and forth. I go through phases where sometimes I'll use a little bit of oil and sometimes I'll use no oil. But to me, I use oil as a form of a non-stick pan, right? Just enough oil just to coat, right, a very thin layer of the surface of usually it's my cast iron. But also, right, investing in equipment that allows you to use less oil. So for me, I always recommend cast irons. If you take care of your cast iron correctly, it basically becomes nonstick. There are nonstick pans out there, of course. You do have to be careful with like Teflon and stuff because that stuff is very bad for you and it flakes off pretty quickly, in my experience. So it's something to keep in mind. In terms of, right, maybe not using oil, right, can you use water? Can you use broth? There's just different ways that you can saute your veggies without having to use a lot of oil. And then when it comes to salt, so I want to say I've done a video on salt before. I can't quite remember. But in terms of salt, right? Salt is a flavor enhancer. I think nowadays people are so addicted to salt. There are so many health issues, right, with the amount of sodium that we have in our diet. But really, salt is it's to help bring out the flavors. So when it comes to another way, right, to bring out flavors, acidic ingredients are basically act the same way. So things like vinegar, any type of vinegar, apple cider, red wine vinegar, white vinegar, rice wine vinegar, right? There's so many different types of vinegar out there, right? It acts the same way, right? It brightens your dish and it just helps enhance those flavors altogether. Citrus, like lemons, limes, even oranges, they help bring out that flavor as well. And then there are different types of salts that we can use. I use different salts, right, when I cook for you guys. I didn't start off that way, right? As I've just learned more about food, my passion for food has gotten bigger. Of course, my ingredients have expanded. But when it comes to table salt, right, which is in most processed foods, fast foods, things like that, not great for us. So can we swap that out for something like pink Himalayan sea salt? Pink Himalayan salt. Can you do sea salt, right? There's just different types of salts that are better for our bodies. And then there are different varieties, right? There's smoked salt, there's garlic salt, like there's so many different types of salts out there. And each salt really does help enhance your dish and it just adds different flavors to your dish. And then another just kind of tip, right? Find spices, right, that are salt free. That's a great way to lower your salt intake. So, of course, that comes with reading labels. And then also, you can make your own seasoning blends. I do have a video on my favorite spices, but I don't think I've actually done one on like how to create your own seasoning blend. So if you guys want me to do that, I am more than happy to do that for you guys. It's super easy, and you probably have most of the ingredients too, just depending on what blend you want. And then sugar. So, like salt, right? Sugar is prevalent in our diet, in the American standard diet, especially with our processed foods. Restaurants actually add sugar into their foods, right? Again, it's like salt, it's very addictive, and it's just not good for us, obviously. So, can you incorporate sugar in a natural whole foods way? If you're making a salad, like fall salad, right? I think cranberries, I think craisins, goji berries, things like that, right? Can you just add a little handful of that? You do have to be careful, right? When it especially comes to dried fruit, they are higher in calories, and if you're trying to lose a lot of weight, you just have to be careful. But a moderation, right? You do want your food to taste good, because when it tastes good, when it's healthy, right, you're more likely to continue on with that. Of course, right, there's substitutes, right? There's stevia, there's monk fruit sweetener, there's a couple other types of sugar alternatives, which is very helpful as well. So really, it's all about figuring out how to impart flavor, right? Using less fat, less sugar, less salt, less oil, right? And, again, right, when you think comfort food, at least for me, I think, depths of flavor, different textures, things like that. So a great way to do that, or to help you guys, impart more flavor and just get that kind of same satiating feeling, I guess. Fresh herbs are a great way to do that. They impart so much flavor into your food, and the health benefits of herbs are incredible. I know I've talked about some of them. If you want me to do a whole dedicated video on the benefits of herbs, I'm more than happy to do that. Spices, of course, right? The more spices, the more herbs you can throw into your food, the better off you are, because you're not going to rely so much on your salt, your sugar, and your oils. Umami flavors, so important, especially if you're incorporating more veggies into your diet, right? Because meat and cheese, those are all umami flavors. So you have to think a little bit about umami when it comes to cooking. If you're incorporating more veggies, if you want to be satisfied and feel like you've actually eaten this like good, hearty, like comforting meal. So things like miso, mushrooms, nutritional yeast, believe it or not, wine, of course, tamari, soy sauce, although we do have to be careful with soy sauce, tomato paste, right? Those are all great ingredients that help impart that umami flavor into your dishes. So, right, it's all about building and layering your flavors, right, when it comes to food in general, but especially comfort food. You really want that depth of flavor in your dish. So I really want to challenge you guys. Challenge yourself with the amount of ingredients you can swap out. So, just an example, like let's take a noodle casserole or like mac and cheese. Mac and cheese is the easy one, right? We all think mac and cheese when we think comfort food. So, normally for mac and cheese, right, the recipes call for like butter, three different types of cheeses, cream, maybe heavy cream. So, what can you swap out? So if you're someone who loves mac and cheese, let's say, and you make it like several times a month. So each time, right, can you challenge yourself to swap out a different ingredient? So let's say the first time you make it, you swap out your normal noodles, right? For Create My Weight approved noodles. Okay, so that's the first time, and then the second time you make it, right? You have your swap for your noodles, and now let's say you take out your butter, right? You just leave out the butter completely. Already so much healthier. And then the next time, right? Maybe instead of cream, you use, I don't know, coconut milk or even Greek yogurt would be, you could do it that could help impart that creaminess in there. Maybe you use tofu, right? Instead of the different cheeses, you can make a beautiful like ricotta using tofu. I've done it before. It's delicious, especially in lasagna. Oh, it's so good. You can use nutritional yeast. That's a great one. You can make a sauce with a base of veggies. I've done a recipe for you guys for that one. And if you're not so keen, right, on just a veggie base, right, just adding in a little bit of normal cheese will really help, right, kind of bring you back to what mac and cheese, right, should taste like. But it's so much healthier, right? The majority of that sauce is made from veggies, and you just add that little bit of cheese or a little bit of cream, whatever it is, just to help kind of bring those flavors back and to help remind your mind, oh yeah, like I'm eating mac and cheese, and it won't be as bad, because I know some people, they taste vegan or plant-based dishes and they're like, oh, this is totally off. So that's just an easy way to help you guys. And just remembering, your taste buds will adapt, right? And change over time. Just like you change over time, your taste buds change over time, and you'll notice you'll actually start to crave, right, the healthier versions of things. I can 100% attest to that. Like when I go out now, like I'm like, oh, maybe I should have just eaten at home. So your body will eventually crave those healthier foods. And then just a couple recipe ideas for you guys. So, nachos. I know for a lot of people, nachos is a comfort dish. I know there's a recipe that I did for the Create My Weight cookbook. There are definitely nachos in there. And you can tweak it according to your goals. I'm pretty sure in that one, oh, actually I have the book right here. Oh, let me see, let me pull it out. Let me find the recipe. Okay. So for the recipe, it's a very basic recipe. So it's just pita bread, beans, hummus, cauliflower, red onion, a little bit of spices. So I'm thinking comfort food. So like maybe, if you're really into your workouts this month, you're working out some really intense workouts, 3 to 4 times a week, maybe instead of the pita bread, maybe you use sweet potatoes. Like you thinly slice some sweet potatoes and make sweet potato chips out of that. And it's still, right, it's still a delicious, healthy version of nachos. Just things like that. I have a buffalo mac and cheese recipe that if I do say so myself, is very good. More than happy to share that with you guys. Soups and stews are a great way to kind of get your comfort food kick. They can be so healthy for you, so beneficial for you. Lentil loaves, instead of meatloaf, right? You can do a lentil loaf. I know last year we did a Thanksgiving challenge, and I came up with a Thanksgiving lentil loaf. Oh, it's one of the best things I think I've ever come up with. It was so good. You can do chili. Chili's a great one, right? Especially as the fall and winter months come, as the temperatures start to drop, right? Chili's a great dish, very hearty, right? Comforting. And there's so many variations. You can do bean chili, of course. You can add meat. You can do sweet potatoes. You can do squash. You can do pumpkin. There's so many different variations. And then sauces, right? When we think comfort food, we think pastas, right? So you can make your own sauces at home. It's really easy. You could do a roasted red pepper sauce. You could do a base with squash. You could do a base with pumpkin. Alfredo, right? You could do Alfredo sauce. I'm pretty sure there's a recipe in the Create My Right cookbook for Alfredo sauce too. And then one of my favorite recipes is shepherd's pie. I do it with lentils. I do some creamy mashed potatoes that are mostly healthy. Sometimes I'll add some vegan butter or some soy milk or something like that just to make them extra creamy. But you can totally make mashed potatoes taste delicious without butter. I love mustard in my mashed potatoes, rosemary, garlic. You could use yogurt, like Greek yogurt. There's so many different ways to healthify mashed potatoes, because that's a big one. Hi, Carrie. Butternut squash soup. Yeah, that's a great one. Was that your question? Let me know what your question was, because I'm not sure I'm getting that. But yeah, let me know, Carrie, just to clarify your question. There are so many, so many soups and stews you can do. Oh, gotcha. Butternut squash soup. So instead of like cream, butter, you could do coconut milk. You could even do some Greek yogurt. You could do like veggie broth, chicken broth. What else could you do? Those are the ones that come to mind. Was that helpful, Carrie? Let me know. Yeah, I'd say coconut milk. And you don't need large quantities either, especially with like coconut milk. You only need a very small amount. Um, what else could you do? Yeah, coconut milk, Greek yogurt. Um, yeah, you could even do um, I don't know if you drink regular milk, like you could substitute like a nut milk or a rice milk even. Rice milk is pretty mild. Soy milk is usually pretty mild too. But you have to be careful. You want to make sure you get unsweetened and unflavored, because let me tell you, vanilla almond milk does not taste good in soups. um, no dairy. Okay, yeah. You could even do, I know, this is a trick my mom actually taught me. If you boil potatoes, don't throw away the water. Actually save it and use it for your soups and stews. There's something about the starchy potato water that just it elevates your soups and stews to the next level, and it kind of helps thicken your soups as well. Yeah, I can't quite just explain like what happens and why it happens, but potato water is really good for soups and stews. Was that helpful, Carrie? All right, you guys. So that's all I have for you. Let me know if that was helpful. Did you learn anything? Are there any specific recipes you want me to do? Again, I can just post recipes in the group as well. that have a little more body to them, because I know a lot of the recipes are very quick, they're very simple. Um, but of course, I have a plethora of recipes that require a little bit more time, but they aren't hard by any means. So just let me know. Yeah, let me know if this was helpful. Did you learn anything new? Okay, you guys. I will catch you on Monday with a new recipe. And if you have any requests, again, let me know. I'm always here for you guys. I want to do recipes that are, going to help you guys on your journey. So, hey guys, I will see you next week. Bye.